Mr Chahal's wife and his 2 British-born children visited him this morning at Bedford Jail. Despite today's finding, he won't be released. The government says he's a Sikh militant and his presence here is a threat to national security.
I'm very angry with the way my father's been treated. He's been in prison for 5 years without a charge. We don't know what he's done wrong, and it's very upsetting for the family. It would be different if he had committed a crime and he was trialed and sent to prison, because at the end of it you know when he would be released, but this is just ridiculous what they've been doing to my father.
Mr Chahal's family, including 2 children born in Britain, were at today's hearing. They've claimed all along that he is a religious leader, not a terrorist, and the fact that he was tortured on a previous visit to India 7 years ago was proof he'd be killed or persecuted by the Indian authorities if he was sent back. They cited an Amnesty International report to the Home Office in May this year alleging systematic persecution of Sikh opposition groups by the Indian government. The Home Office had claimed that the courts had no role in decisions on deportation in national security cases. But Mr Justice Popperwell ruled that a denial of political asylum was a matter for the courts. Mr Justice Popperwell said that a report by Amnesty International made available to the Secretary of State in May this year gave evidence of the systematic killing, torture and persecution of Sikhs who were in favour of an independent Punjab state. Yet Mr Baker had given no indication of what weight, if any, he'd given to this evidence. The judge ruled that the reasons for overthrowing the appeal for political asylum were therefore inadequate. Outside the court, fellow Sikhs demonstrated their support for the decision. Mrs Chahal said she was too overcome to speak.
She's very happy indeed. She's over the moon that the courts have found in her favour that Mr Chahal's life is in danger at the hands of the Indian government, like so many other boys are being killed over there every day. And that this is another case where the Home Secretary has got it patently wrong.
I find it very difficult to understand how the Home Secretary could maintain his reasoning that Mr Chahal would not face persecution in India. All the evidence is against him.
Mr Baker, already found guilty of contempt of court over his handling of another deportation, has once again been asked to give the court an explanation for his actions in a case of political asylum. Norman Rees, ITN, at the High Court.